Candidate number 1 Simone Nadine Berniella from Marinduca, designer. Luis Pangilinan, Sampaguita, Sampaguita, inspired from the flower Jasminum sambac, typically known as Sampaguita. This costume of Simone Nadine Berniella was embellished with exquisite pattern of beads, sequins, and crystals that inspires not only the flower's aesthetics, but the legend of a beautiful princess of purity, humility, and strength, which represents the Philippine national flower that came from the Spanish word sampaguita, which in translation means palabra de honor or I promise you. This trait is bound in keeping her word no matter what difficulties she encounters, which makes her unique and an exceptionally empowered Filipina. True to herself. True to her word. Candidate hashtag 2 Erica Vinculido Roxas City, Kpis, designer. Yep Messina, Erica is wearing a porcelain white serpentine-style traditional Philippine turno adorned with azure blue brocade laces in the bodice and skirt, accented with the timeless glimmer of Kpis shells on the mestiza sleeves and peplum skirt. Featuring whites and blues befitting a Reina del Cielo, this national costume was made by Kpis designer, Yep Messina, and reflects the grace, purity and serenity of the Virgin Mary as Queen of Heaven. Candidate hashtag 3 Angel Jedlatori Lambuno, Iloilo, designer. Ruffy Itaz, inspired by Reina del Santissimo Rosario. This national costume depicts the Philippines' proud heritage and culture, strong faith, responsible and resilient Filipinos. The presentation, through this wonderful piece, is an embodiment of a true Filipina that can outshine the world, strong, outstanding, and an inspiration. Angel Jed Zaragoza Latorre is truly exclusive, smart and chic in this wonderful piece, yet majestic and overwhelming. Candidate hashtag Formica Cabling Martinez Nueva Ecija, designer. Urjan de la Serna. This national costume depicts Santa-Cruzan's Rosa Mystica, a poetic title of Virgin Mary created by Urjan de la Serna. It is made of brocade, a woven fabric having a raised floral that is used by the saints. The color palette and accents represent the historical churches of Nueva Ecija with the golden touch of the 8 rays of the Philippine flag that symbolizes the 8 courageous provinces that revolted against the Spaniards, in which Nueva Ecija is one of them. Candidate hashtag 5 Shayna Rose ICO from Batangas Province, designer. DJ Abustan, Itis. This ethno-printed Filipiniana represents the indigenous inhabitants before Christianity was introduced to the Filipinos, made with ethnic patterned fabric and indigenous materials, paying homage to our indigenous people's culture and tradition. Candidate hashtag 6 Samantha Gabranino, San Jose del Monte, Bulacan, designer. Ziril Jane Jacinto of Ziril Jane Collections, Reina de las Flores, the colorful and vibrant Tangloan festival which won 2 Guinness World Records is represented in this masterpiece. Wearing this makes her embody the festival that symbolizes the light as a beacon of hope for the city of San Jose del Monte. Candidate hashtag 7 Erica Christensen Carmona, Cavite, designer. J Masungsong and Johanna Lilaran, Althea. This ensemble is made of our very own banig dyed into a green color to deliver a fresh and modern take of our Filipinana. It is made by our rich coconut products and it's fully hand-beaded by the best people of my very own province of Cavite. With this creation, I hope to reflect the amazing Filipino craftsmanship by celebrating the women and the LGBTQI+ community behind this. Candidate hashtag 8 Sina Jade Chu Iloilo Province, designer. Alfie D. Samparado, Reina de las Flores, Rafflesia speciosa, found in the heart of San Joaquin, Iloilo, and Solihia, strands woven into distinctive patterns that binds us to our roots, to our culture, to our indigenous people and to the environment and to the world. That beautiful Reflexia and Solihia, that indigenously beautiful distinct connection between all of us is something that we should celebrate, just like how we celebrate Santacruzan. Candidate hashtag 9 Kayla Ariadne Chongson, Lipa City, Batangas. Designer Malik James Hilado. Our Reina de las Flores wears a masterpiece embellished with three-dimensional grand bouquet of flowers that represents not only femininity but exceptionally empowered women. The red gown is reminiscent of the miraculous event, the shower of rose petals in Lipa City, which appear to be emblazoned with images of Jesus, Mary, and the saints. The stylized arc accentuates the entire creation, a great reminder that Santacruzan is truly the queen of Philippine festivals, that no other celebration can surmount its grandeur and significance. Candidate hashtag 10 Crystal Marie Ganti Devo del Norte. Designer The transformation of Naga. In the mythology of Samal, a coastal city in the province of Devo del Norte, the Milky Way is depicted as a gigantic dragon, also known as a Naga, trapped in the sky. The design is a modern fully beaded Filipiniana that depicts a transformed Naga, with complex beading patterns and a flamboyant ruffled skirt to give it a deity look. Yellow and green exemplify the hues of nature, life, and vitality, optimism, and joy, and the umbrella, formed like a flower, completes the design, symbolizing the protection and power of love. Candidate hashtag 11 Maria Nina Soriano Pangasinan, Reina de las Virgenes. Designer Air Steven Alvarado. Foot Air Daniela Alvarado. Reina de las Virgenes is a Marian title in the annual Santacruzan that traditionally carries a rosary and accompanied by two angels. This fully beaded ensemble is inspired from the Our Lady of Manoag, who has been a symbol of hope and strength of Pangasinan. Candidate hashtag 12 ANJE May Manipal Quezon Province. Designer John Rob Bomani and Gary Rosas. Concept The mestiza represents Quezon as the land of thousand colors, known for its diverse culture, traditions, and festivities. The festive color of blue is a tribute to Quezon's coastline, being one of the longest in the country. Candidate hashtag 13 Maria Gigante Cebu. Designer Axel Quebec. Reina Mora is a symbol of religious diversity and representation. By the 16th century, Islam was widespread and thriving in the heart of the Philippines as the first monotheistic religion practiced by Filipinos. The use of yellows and browns symbolize the sun, the beauty of nature, and the rich resources of the Philippines. The abundant use of gold and precious stones are a symbol of our prosperity. This design echoes the identity of its designer as a Muslim Filipino and reflects the aspirations of its muse for her people to thrive in diversity. This design is an ode to our history and our people. Candidate hashtag 14 Patricia Dizon Angela City. Designer Russell Villafuerte. Inspired by Manuel Tuwang, the wife of Ida Chieftain Maricudo during the Barter of Panay, when the first 10 Bornean Datus arrived. The dress represents the gift the Datus gave to the Itis of Panay. Candidate hashtag 15 Ivana Paces Makati City. Designer Don Cristobal. Rosa Mystica. As a rose, the queen of flowers, Mary truly is the perfect flower of all humanity. A woman truly beautiful in her loving charity, a creation returned to beauty, and is called to love and adore the Lord. Candidate hashtag 16 Carla Manuel Manilla. Inspired by Pura Villanueva because she pioneered the suffrage movement here in the Philippines for women. White is the color of suffrage and a dove is a symbol of women's suffrage. Candidate hashtag 17 Ingrid Santa Maria Parañaque City, designer, Aaron Montoya, Queen Elena, a blush pink Filipinana in Suanduan silhouette. This costume is inspired by the rich Catholic culture of Parañaque, an ode to the cathedral parish of St. Andrew. Embellished with white beadworks inspired from the church facade altar symbolizing purity innocence, adorned with voluminous cascading layers in floral form on the train, epitomizing the blossoming of Evi Dalagang Filipina. Candidate hashtag 18 Justine Felizarda Marikina City, designer, Rommel Padillo Serrano, Manila Carnival Queen, redressing with modernity. The traje de mestiza features a somewhat thinner pañuelo, a wider neckline, a clinging bodice, and the sleeves are noticeably wider. Such sleek features were influenced by Hollywood female stars and the Gibson girl style. With the colonial style having changed the tides of norms, the conservative Maria Clara dress has taken a more open shape. Candidate hashtag 19 Kim Tiquestiques Balagtas, Bulacan, designer, Roman Sebastian, Reina della Justicia or the Queen of Justice is the embodiment of divine order and rightness of law. Her attributes are scales, a sword and a blindfold, to represent impartiality, the ideal that justice should be applied without regard to wealth, power, or status. Candidate hashtag 20 Ashley Subigiano Montenegro Makati City, designer, OL Morabi, inspired by the tradition of ALAY in the rural churches as still being observed with serenity. This gown is a fitting tribute to the Blessed Mother as the Queen of the Mayflower Festival as depicted by the image of the miraculous medal painted on the train of the gown. It has a long and lean silhouette with a turn-of-the-century Ma Clara top in trellis traced with fine beadery in crystals and nacre. Candidate hashtag 21 Paula Ortega ALBAY, designer, Beta Cunha from Legazpi, Albay, Reina Elena, Daragang Magayan, in a national costume made totally from abaca is the utmost representation of Albay. In consonance with today's thrust toward sustainability and ecological awareness. Every material in this costume, from the smallest detail at the top to the biggest fringes at the hem are made of natural materials, to finally behold the beautiful maiden from Albay. Candidate hashtag 22 Cassandra Burmeo-Chan San City, designer, Eric Mendoza, Reina Mora, Queen More. As Flores de Mayo is celebrated in Philippine culture, the ensemble depicts the Mayflower Festival that blooms around springtime after the season of Lent. Thus also represents the joyous season of the Christians. Reina Mora also represents Muslim Filipinos, who are concentrated in Mindanao when Islam arrived in the archipelago 2 centuries before Christianity. It is now the country's second largest religion. Candidate number 23 Carriza Esparrago Tagwig, designer, Kiran Stefan Tirado, Reina de las Estrellas, Queen of the Stars. With gossamer fabric, intricate beading and embroidery that lets hundreds of lights peek through subtly, this national costume serves as a symbol of light as a guiding beacon. Like the hundreds of thousands of Taguajenos that brighten our beautiful city, let the stars shine. Candidate No. 24 Allison Black Las Piñas City, designer, Patrick I. Serena, Reina de las Estrellas, an ode to the sun and the stars like that of the Philippine flag. This ensemble is made to look like these heavenly bodies descending onto Philippine soil. Candidate number 25 Gwendoline Forniel Negros Occidental, designer, Luis Pangilinan, Reina Emperatriz, inspired from one of the biggest and world-class festivals in the Philippines called the Mascara Festival, which takes place in Bacolod City. executed in a vibrant lilac retro stained glass bodice and golden headdress which was hand-embroidered and embellished with different cultural materials depicting the flamboyant celebration of the smiling faces of the mask, depicting the unwavering Negrent spirit. Candidate number 26, Aliana Joaquin Bacoor City, Cavite, designer, Alan Lazerna, Reina de las Flores, Maria Flores Filipinana. Its design, in general, is inspired by the Filipino Saint Nuestra Señora de los Flores, who carries flowers in a parade of fiesta in celebration of every town's capital. The bodice is covered by laces, fabric, stones and pearls that symbolize purity and generosity. They are believed to attract wealth, luck, as well as protection. The crown symbolizes grandeur and power, which was made up of brass silvered in gold, shining pearls and stones. Candidate number 27, Blessy Villablanca Iloilo City, Reina Mora, Queen More, represents Muslim Filipinos, who are concentrated in Mindanao and large cities such as Manila. Islam arrived in the archipelago 2 centuries before Christianity, and is now the country's second largest religion. Traditional and modern Moorish-inspired costume, green color that symbolizes Islam, and gold for royalty. The ceramic-inspired headdress is from the legendary bird that has become an ubiquitous symbol of Marineo art. It is depicted as a fowl with colorful wings and feathered tail, holding a fish on its beak or talons. The head is profusely decorated with scroll, leaf, and spiral motifs. It is said to be a symbol of good fortune. Candidate number 28, Maui Long, Bulacan Province, designer, Manny Hallison, Reina Candelaria, also known as the Queen of Candles, wears a long lit taper that represents Mary's purity. The pearls and crown represent purity in Bulacan's flourishing jewelry industry. Candidate number 29, Lorraine Joy Arpia Tracy Martiri City, Cavite, designer, Nel Claveria. The blossom, every piece of diamonds and flowers symbolizes of how passionate the people are from Tracy Martiri City, Cavite in making it a prosperous city. Candidate number 30, Angela Tingbalawag, Bulacan. Candidate number 31, Nataza Vea Bautista Misamis Oriental, designer, Gil Macabe 3, Nataza is Reina de las Flores. She dons a sculpted custom-dyed raw silk cocoon turno ensemble by Gil Macabe 3. Hand-embellished, hand-embroidered, and traditional, but its silhouette is striding towards modernity. The dress itself is a metaphor for a modern-day reina, modest, elegant, and empowered. Candidate number 32, Kevin Alessandria Mateo Batan, designer, Rian Fernandez, an exquisitely hand-embroidered costume inspired by the Las Casas Filipinas de Acuzar of Batan. Its color sends a nostalgic mood that also represents pride and history. Candidate number 33, Marinol Timoteo Tungal Pampanga, designer, Rich Sabanian, Philippine Turno, Filipiniana gown inspired by classic Solihia pattern. A different technique and secret of weaving to come up with extravagant creation, a concept by which Rich Sabanian created by weaving fabric instead of readily made wooden materials to make it wearable and make it to fashion world, a true craftsmanship. Candidate number 34, Beatriz McClelland Ackland, designer, Chico Estiva, Carnival Queen, the precursor queen of pageants. A queen that celebrates harmonious relationships with other nationalities who also highlights culture, industrial and agricultural developments in the Philippines. Candidate number 35, Patricia MCGE Zambales, designer, Erwin Gonzalez. Inspired by the purity of a modern Filipina, this ensemble signifies the terrain of flora and fauna of Zambales. The beauty of the land and the sea was embodied in the structure of the dress, giving life and homage to the beautiful sceneries found in Zambales. This masterpiece is crafted altogether by the magnificent hands and wonderful mind of Mr. Erwin Gonzalez to represent the beauty, tradition and culture of the Zambales.